There, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Confessions of a Paper Addict's 20 Days of Cutfiles. And don't forget, you get 25% off over in the Etsy shop if that is of interest to you. And I can't believe I actually got that right, the 20 and the 25. I've been messing it up all along. So today's prompt was to use one of the build a cut files, and that is a cut file where you can build a scene or something like that. I know she's got this village, which is what I am using today, but she's also got I think an office, and she's got several other things. They are really cool because you can use all the bits and pieces to build things. And so I'm creating this little Christmas village because in my photo at the bottom of the tree is a Christmas village set up, and the village at the bottom of the tree is one that my mom and dad have had since as far back as I can remember. And so I'm just kind of documenting that. I don't even know if they still have it. My mom has not put it up for several years, but back in 2007, 2008, she was still using it quite every year. And so that's why I wanted to go ahead and document it, because it just always said Christmas was here when that kind of went up. It's got the lights in it. She put the snow around the bottom, and it had these little tiny figurines that were made out of miniature pine cones, and they were super cute. And I remember as a little girl loving to play with those. And so I am documenting that today. So I have this paper, I believe it is from Close to My Heart, and I really like that it has like those the trees in the background, and it didn't have any color, but it still kind of gives you kind of like a wintry feel. And I thought it was great because, you know, this little village could be nestled in the trees. So I thought that was a good way to go ahead and put that paper to use. So I backed all of these little houses. It doesn't take a lot of time to back them, but you got to keep all of the little pieces, like the little windows and stuff, in a baggie if you don't back them right away as you cut them, because there's quite a few little windows, and I think those are super cute. I am currently backing the little windows with some gray vellum, just so they're not, I want to say naked, but naked's not the right word, just so that they're not completely transparent. I want to give them a little bit of shadow or depth to them. And so I am backing those, and I like the way that looks. And it doesn't take very long, like I said, just cutting little squares to go behind those. I am using some paper from Photoplay's Snowball Fight, and that's where that card came from. And then I'm going to cut a strip of pink to go under there, and the sign post on the left-hand side is also from that paper. And I thought that worked better cut out rather than left on the turquoise background that it had. And then I'm also cutting out some of these snow globes. That is from Pink Fresh Studio, I believe. And I end up only using one of the snow globes, but I do cut out two. I don't end up using that dark blue one because it kind of felt really heavy wherever I put it. I think it's because there's so much light color on this page, and that was really just a dark, bold color. Even the green tree is kind of a lighter green. It's not as dark as it could have been. So it just felt too dark to me. And here's that pink paper I was talking about. If you're not really into non-traditional Christmas colors, this probably isn't the layout for you. But I could have easily used a red or a green, and I could have switched out that card for a red or a green. But I do have some little houses that are blue, so I thought that was kind of cool. To bring in the pinks and blues, it kind of just played off of that. I mean, you don't see a lot of houses that are red or like true Christmas green color, but so I'm trying to go a little bit more whimsical here. You also don't see buildings that are candy cane striped usually, so you know, just trying to embrace that little whimsical side of things. I did ink up my photo mat with some it's called cement. The color is called cement, but it is just a Versamark or Versafine mini ink pad, and it's nearly dry. I was surprised I got much ink out of it, and you're going to see later I'm going to try and ink the edges of the paper, and I end up swapping colors because I just could not get enough ink out of it to get it as dark as I wanted. So I do swap to a couple of different distress inks. I try Gathered Twig oxide ink, and I end up switching to ground espresso, which is a little bit darker. So you're going to see that later on in the video here. Now I'm just working on the placement of the little houses. I don't want them too nestled into the photo because I want to make sure that the scene underneath the tree is still visible. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the top side of that candy cane striped one with the photo mat. So you don't see the photo mat and then see the candy cane stripe. It's covering that actual photo mat. And that allows the scene at the bottom to still be seen on the right hand side. And then I'm doing the same on the left and on the bottom. Because like I said, I don't want to cover up the little houses that are there. That is the whole purpose of this layout. So trying to be really conscientious about where I place things. And that's why it kind of takes me a little bit longer in my placement on this particular layout than it does on most, because usually I don't have those constraints that are so tight. Now I am popping up this front house up onto some foam, and it's just going to take a little bit of time here to put a little bit of fun foam on the back. I'm obviously not putting it behind the windows, but I am putting it on the rest of the little house there to give it a lot of support. And I like the way that it looks. It gives a little bit of added dimension. I will also do the same with the house that is all the way to the left. So that's what I'm going to do there. And I don't make you sit through all of that. That signpost, the bottom of it kind of tucks under that house, but the top portion goes on top of the house. And so you're going to see me play with that just a little bit. And I'm going to glue them together before I actually add the foam tape to the signpost, because I am going to pop that up as well, because the parts that are on top of that house need that extra support, but the parts that are under it need to be flat. So that's why I'm going to kind of play with it and glue it together before I start adding foam to it. So that is what I'm going to do right here. That's my next step in the process. And I apologize that a lot of that was off camera, so you didn't get to see that. Sometimes I work really in close proximity to my body, I guess, so that I can see it better. I have no idea what's going on there, but basically all of the signpost portions are on top, and then the white snow at the bottom is underneath. So it does not have foam on that white snow, but the rest of it does. And now I'm looking at that card in the bottom right hand corner of that pink fresh paper, and I cut out that tree that was on it. I fussy cut that out and popped that up onto some foam, and I'm just placing it next to this house. I'm trying to close up the gap between the two houses there because I didn't like that it had that large gap. And so I now am adding some hearts from that same Photoplay snowball fight sticker sheet. And so I'm just adding a few of those around. I like how that's looking. And then I found this other little tiny house in my bin of scrappy stuff for Christmas. And I believe it is from Bella Boulevard. It's from a much older paper. And so I am fussy cutting that out, and it's super tiny, but I'm going to add that in just to bring in another level of dimension and just something, another layer. But it is just a tiny house. And I think it looks really cute. And then my title is just going to be Santa's Village, and I'm using these pink fresh gold alphas, and this gold is a little bit brighter than most golds that I like, so I tend not to use it, and so I have a lot of them in my stash. So I'm going to get those out on the page, and then I'm going to use some of the little asterisk signs on the right hand side of the photo just to bring in gold to the other side, to the top of the tree, and make a little visual triangle over on that side to make it match and bring that gold across to the opposite side of the photo. And while I do that, I'll remind you there are a bunch of people playing along in this hop. All the links are down below. If you're not sure how to back a cut file, the link for that is down below. I understand it wasn't working in one of my other videos, so I went and updated the link in all of my videos, so it should be working for you now. And then you can go and learn how to back a cut file. So I did cut off 1/8 of an inch all the way around my layout, and I am going to back it on white paper, which seems weird because it is white on white, but I am going to ink it up. Like I said, I pull out that same cement color, and I just realize it's not dark enough. I end up throwing that ink pad away because it didn't have enough in it. And so I'm going to switch to my oxide inks, and there's the gathered twig, and I go around it with that, and that's not quite as dark as I wanted. So I am going to switch to espresso, ground espresso, and you're going to see me do that here in just a moment. And the reason that I ended up putting it on the white paper is because I did want a darker border, but the paper that my layout is built on is not as thick as I would have liked. So I wanted to give it more stability, and a couple of the corners were already kind of getting bent or frayed, and so that's why I went ahead and trimmed a little bit off, and I'm giving it some more stability with the white cardstock, which is much heavier weight than the actual paper. So in case that was of interest to you. I did find this little brown tag that has a snowman. It says Merry Christmas on it. I popped that in just to add a different shape and to bring the brown across, because I do have the signpost that has brown, and so I wanted to bring some brown over to the right hand side, and then the little letter at the bottom that has the heart on it is also brown, so I've got a triangle of brown items, and so I like the way that that's looking. I'm going to do my journaling in my 0.37, I think that's what it is, a 0.37 Muji pen, and that is my favorite pen to write with. If you've never tried a Muji pen, you should definitely check it out. It's not much of an investment. They're really inexpensive. So give that a try. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you're enjoying this series. It's a little bit different of a series for me. I don't normally do 20 days of cut files in a row. I do use cut files. I just don't usually do them all back to back. But I do enjoy them, and I think they do a lot of the embellishment work for you. Thanks again for watching, you guys. I will see you guys again tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.